Did you get a quick pump before we started
quick
this,
pump.
Jordan?
Yeah, a couple push-ups real quick.
All right, episode 2, Dad
Yeah.
Fight Club. All right, here we go. How are we feeling after yesterday?
Well, I did get a massage yesterday, and then I spent probably an additional hour doing some foam rolling and some lacrosse ball in my neck. So,
Did you
feeling,
really get a massage yesterday?
yeah, I was overdue. I do get like a massage probably minimum once a month. So that was a perfect reason for me to do it. So.
Your body is a temple, that's for sure. Did you do the Thai massage?
No, that would not have been good.
Okay.
Thai massage only, ideally for me anyways, like if your quasi loose, you don't want to go in there like really beat up and tired because it's like a little mini workout.
Dude, okay. I feel like that was not the counsel you gave me when, like, remember when we were at Jack's? You're like, dude, for what you do, getting beaten up all the time, like getting smashed, like you need to go get a Thai massage. Like that'll help everything. So like literally like I was like totally beaten up and whatever, and like I roll in there thinking I'm gonna get like some awesome massage. And these ladies are like climbing on top of me, just stretching. Like, I mean, it was like a workout for them. They're like doing CrossFit on top of me. Like, I'm like, I just got back from getting like my shoulder like cranked at jiu-jitsu, and like they're doing the same thing. And I'm like, this is supposed to help. Like, and then just to hear you say like, oh yeah, no, you want to make sure you're nice and loose. You left that part out.
We were too busy. I didn't get to finish my disclosure, my TSA on it.
Because I came back from that being like, I am never doing that again. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I'll get like a regular massage and then maybe some rolling, and then if the funds and all that stuff, right? Then in an ideal scenario, you get a massage, you roll, stretch, and then within 3 days you go and get the Thai massage.
Okay. Yeah. You missed out on telling me the rest of that. Like the kind of like the lead up, like what you're supposed to do leading up to that. You were just like, yeah, man, if you're feeling beaten up and like really trashed, like go over there. I was like, all right. So like you even gave me the name of the place to go to. Like, anyways. Yeah. I was like, I don't know what he sees in this. But okay. So anyways, yesterday we did Dad Fight Club. I think it was a little different than the first time we did it. I don't know how you felt, but like,
yeah, much more physical.
Yeah. I felt like we were done feeling each other out a little bit, and we were going for it a little bit more. Like we'll go through the rolls, but like by the time the last roll came around, like you really gave me the business. Like I was sitting there like basically in half guard or close guard, and like I had nothing. Like I did okay in the other rounds, but that last round, by the time we got there, I was so reactionary. You had just like sort of beaten me up that like I was just reacting to you instead of trying to do like what I knew to do. And like I was like walking out of that being like, man, like that one's gonna be hard to watch.
I don't know. I felt the opposite. I felt like you had learned all my moves that I had on the first day. I felt exposed. It felt like everything I tried to do, you got me. And so the last round, I was just doing some of the stuff that we had been drilling.
Yeah.
Maybe, and I was tired, so I'm probably maybe using a little bit more muscle. So I don't know. I'm not gonna say I felt defeated, after that. But 100% I walked away saying, I need to start getting classes. Like 1 day a week with Bill is not going to do it. Like he's just going to mock me every week. So I even came home and showed my wife the video. I was like, look at this.
Look at what you just did to me. Well, and we'll get into it. But I think before we get into it, I wanted to get a little feedback on some of your pre-Dad Fight Club rituals here. And I wanted to know like how important this is like to your overall performance. So like when I walk in and like I see you doing stuff like this, like what am I looking at there? Like I walk in to go grapple with somebody, and he's sitting there doing this like deep squat. It looks like he's like basically dropping a deuce, and I'm like, all right, is this an important part of the routine, or what are we mentally preparing for there, Jordan?
Honestly, that's actually just a rest position for me. So, I've tried to develop a level of, range of motion, that I want to make sure that I maintain that standard. And often what I'll do is, in lifting workouts or high intensity workouts, I'll force myself in that position and recover from that position. Because as we all know,
we should probably add that you're like 5'6", 200 pounds,
it,
like basically like a little ball of hate, and like you're sitting there in like a pretty awkward position, just like I'm just like walking in being like, what am I getting myself into here?
well, and that's the thing, it's so awkward, right? And like from wrestling and grappling, one of the hardest positions to recover from is when you're all like boxed up, right? You got your knees into your chest. So, a little insight to my personality. When something's difficult like that, I'm going to turn into it, and then I'm going to try to turn that thing into a regular thing. So that's what I've done basically over years. So you'll often find me. So what you see me there, I've already been warming up for probably 15 or 20 minutes. I grabbed my phone and I saw that you were running early. So I was like, oh yeah, come on in. So, and then I saw you walk in, I took a video. So I was literally just resting, posting on Instagram.
Well, needless to say, you had been warming up for 15, 20 minutes. As a reminder, Jordan's day job and full-time occupation is strength and conditioning and just being an all-around fitness badass. I literally like strolled in after dropping my kids off at daycare being like, who wants to rumble? Like, no, no stretching.
Warm up, people. Warm up. He was like, let's just do some drills. You'll get really warmed up. And I'm like cringing inside, like.
And then what? Like within 10 minutes, I was like, oh, my knee kind of hurts. Okay. Okay, so some of the drill stuff that we did, we reinforced for you, and I think you actually did a much better job of this, like in the actual live rules, framing, right? So we talked about like knee-elbow connections if you're on your back, framing if somebody's on top of you, creating an angle where you're angling into a person when they're on top of you as opposed to staying flat on your back. That angle or kind of hipping out, doing the shrimp, allowing you to connect the knee and the elbow. And I think that you'll see there are circumstances where you at least try to do that in the rules. Yep. You're not particularly successful because like it's not my first rodeo, even though I'm still a white belt. But I thought that was like a huge improvement for you in this particular session.
Yeah, agreed. And I remember like one time you were on me and then it was like, boom, framing. Oh yeah. So,
yeah, it's amazing that you have these light bulb moments, right? Like where you're in fight or flight a little bit. I wish that we were videoing that one moment where you just like yeeted me like off. Like this was like when we were starting a positional round from you on your back.
Yeah.
And at some point, like I was trying to pass and you were just like, nope. And like, you just like, I don't know what you do. You almost did like a back roll handspring type of thing. And I just like went flying. Like, yeah. So a little bit less of that, a little more like, let's try to make frames. And
yeah, exactly. That was like a pure panic moment. I felt in a vulnerable situation with my shoulder and I was just like, get out of here real quick.
Yeah. Needless to say, I did not stay in that position very long. Then we did drill a little bit closed guard arm drag to the back that I think is becoming more natural for you. Your biggest challenge is going to be getting me into your closed guard to actually do any of the closed guard techniques that you're learning. Because obviously I'm trying to stay out of it, right? And, I'm trying to get around to side control and knee on belly or take your back or whatever. And by the way, like, you're not going to see me doing normal side control with you, which is like a wrestler's pin, very much because like you're just too explosive to handle from that position since you have a lot of weight on me, you're just like way stronger and everything. If I'm just, especially as a white belt, like maybe if I was a lot better, but for normal side control, like I would have a lot of problems controlling you. That's why you almost always see me popping up to knee on belly because like while good jiu-jitsu players would have a good answer for that, like you don't. So,
you're gonna exploit as long as you learn in class.
Until you YouTube a video on how to get out of knee on belly, like I'm just gonna keep on doing it. Basically. So
Fair.
yeah, or you know, where I'm transitioning to north south or whatever, because like it's just harder for me to do a normal side control. Whereas you, like, you'll notice, like, when you get me in side control, like, I don't have a ton of answers. Like, I'm usually able to frame a little bit and maybe try to get back to close guard, but like it's a battle, you know. So okay, but so anyways, we drilled arm drag to the back for you. We drilled stand up for me. Also arm drag stuff, right? So I think one of the things that we hit on as maybe a good move for me as we're like gearing up for competition in June is like the from the collar tie arm drag to single leg, and doing variations from that. Like, and that was like total like organic happenstance that we sort of landed on that as something that like I actually sort of look like I know what I'm doing as
Yeah.
opposed to like the normal shots that I'm taking. I have a video of that. So why don't we run that? We can take a look at what I'm doing here and see if we still like it as much. Let's see. Here we go. So I got the inside control, collar drag, or collar tie, arm drag. Let's look at that one more time. So I'm trying to get inside control, right? Just in general. I'm going to try to isolate your left arm so that I can bring it across my body and drag with my right arm. And then I'm just trying to close distance with you, essentially. I think that one of the things, like, so I was trying to do this same move in jiu-jitsu today against like a very good wrestler. Did not work. And I talked with him after class as to, like, I didn't show him this video, but I was like, okay, like, what am I doing wrong here? And he suggested that I'm doing a little too much, like, stepping with my right foot when I'm doing the collar drag, which makes it easier for you to rotate around me. But if I stepped with my left foot, so as I'm pulling, if I step with my left foot, I can close that distance. Even if I'm not going around you, I'm getting closer to you, where I can either grab the leg or go to like a body lock or something. So like when we watch this, like, I think we'll see if I'm using my right leg or my left leg to make like the step to close the distance. So that was like a little bit lateral. I moved with my left leg to the left, but at least it was like a step with my left. I think today what I was trying to do is when I was pulling, I was stepping with my right, and he was just going around me, and he was like, move with your left leg first. Of course, I could have smashed you there, but we were just drilling here.
Yeah.
Then I think we do the throw by. That's one of my favorites. I've never hit it live, so I don't know if it's actually like a thing, but so let's see on this one. This is another arm drag to single leg. Do I shoot with my right foot or my left? See, I think that was good. I think I did my left foot. It was my left foot, right?
Yeah, you could say I literally, you had me committed with the hands.
So today, I literally just like forgot like what we were drilling, and instead of going with my left foot stepping forward, essentially I was going with my right foot, and it just created a totally different vibe and experience that I think makes it ineffective. So like I have to key on that, like the next time that we drill, that like as I'm doing the drag, stepping forward with my left foot, not my right foot, and just closing the distance as much as I can. So interesting for me to drill it yesterday, feel really good about it, and then bring it to jiu-jitsu class today and like have it not be so great. But yeah. Anyways, do we want to get into the first round, which you know how it ends? So
let's do it. Let's start off right.
All right. Okay. All right. Here we go. Slap bump. Let's do it. Oh, let me just preface this. I left the music on because you wanted the sound. Okay. So you're going to hear the music first, I believe, but then the music turns off. So just bear with the music here for a minute here. Okay. So first round of Dad Fight Club. How do we think it's going to go with a jiu-jitsu white belt against an experienced wrestler? Foreshadowing.
Oh gosh. I'm chomping at the bit here. I am thinking I'm gonna take him down. I'm gonna show him how to do a single leg here. You just keep giving me that right leg. Oh man, it's like fresh meat out there.
Wait for it. Wait for it. What a slick shot. Okay,
Yeah.
now listen, everybody listen. All right, look how pleased I am with myself after you tap. And then I'm like, oh God, like, did I hurt him? Like, hey, newsflash, I'm a 2-stripe white belt. I've never actually submitted somebody with a guillotine off of a single leg where I'm still standing. That was my first guillotine submission. So I was like literally sitting there like, what should I do with the camera? Like, should I put, should I do a double front bicep? Like, what should I do? What should I do? And then I look over and you're still like, and I'm like, I might have killed him. Like, I don't know. Like that.
It was definitely good. It was good. It was so funny. There was like, I got that leg, and I was like, I felt so good about it. Quickly realized that you had my neck, and I, for a half a second, thought, oh, it's not that deep, and then you really pulled on it a little bit more, and it was, oh, geez, you got me.
But the shot
was great.
The shot was slick. Like the shot was awesome. Like let's break that down again. And if we just happen to watch the rest of the video too, like we can watch the guillotine again. Here it comes. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I think I watched it a few times, obviously, yesterday, and I was like, all right, you know,
What did I do?
I think you told me afterwards, you said, I got to finish the takedown, and my mind was like, should I have held on to the arm, like,
yeah, so
what do they call it, a Gamby roll, or,
no,
you know what I'm saying?
no,
Like,
no.
I was like, I need to work on.
Yeah, no, I have no idea, but like what I think, I mean, it was a pretty good guillotine as far as white belt guillotines go. But as I told you yesterday, like finishing the takedown and then getting your legs to the opposite side of where I have the guillotine in. If you look it up online, there's actually a thing called a Von Flu choke, or submission, where you can actually submit me from that position. It's if I keep holding on to the head, I don't claim to understand how the mechanics work, but somehow you can submit me. So like you were in deep, right? You came up, like my guess is if you just freaking plowed through me with your 5'6", 200 pounds, like then if you knew to get to the other side, then you would have had a good shot. But
Yeah.
At this point though, I was literally just like, call me Hoist Gracie. Like I was submitting wrestlers left and right.
Yeah, right there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You definitely finished it so well. You did. I mean, you really started pulling up, and it was so good.
Yeah. No.
And the irony of all of this is, I was literally bragging to Bill, like probably like what 3 minutes before that, like, oh, I have no neck. It's so hard for guys to get their hand in there, and if they do, I'll just do one of these,
Well, it is true. We started a round right before this, like a positional round with me on Jordan's back with a body triangle in. Now remember, 2-stripe white belt. I'm pretty terrible at jiu-jitsu, but like I've strangled plenty of people like at jiu-jitsu class from the back before. Like I know how to do a rear naked choke. I know how to hand fight, etc. And like I could not get my elbow under his. I could barely get like my forearm under his neck. Like it looks are deceiving. Like you can't really tell from this video or from the podcast, but like it's very difficult when he goes like this to do anything. So yeah, he was just bragging like, "Oh yeah, man, don't you were basically telling me don't feel bad about it that you couldn't choke me." Like I was like, "Oh, thanks, man. That makes me feel a lot better." Yeah. Okay.
Enter the guillotine.
Guillotine. All right. All right. And then after this, we went to another round. Let's see how it goes. I forget exactly how we progressed. This one I took the video out of, or the audio out of. Oh.
Yeah, and you were again just overall just much more physical on everything. And I think in our last podcast, you were commenting, I think maybe even before this session, just about how much excess movement you were doing last time. I mean, that it just felt so much tighter for today, or when we rolled yesterday.
The funny part about so we took the audio out of this, so I'm gonna take a shot right here, I think. But right after this, you fake a shot. I think it's right here. You fake a shot. Yeah, and then you you like do a little like laugh and you're like I think you said, because I made a pretty big reaction and you were like I thought you said that I was scared and I was like, yeah, I'm scared, and you were like, no, I'm scared because you had just gotten choked out with a guillotine. Okay, well you got a little retribution right there.
I had no intention.
Yeah.
I had no intention of taking that shot, but I wanted you to think that I was going to. I had a little PTSD in that moment. I was like, no, it ain't happening again for a while.
All right. So I try to do the arm drag to the single right here, but I miss on the arm drag. Watch. Right there. It wasn't even close. Then I try to hop over to a guillotine, but you controlled my hands pretty well. And then at this point, you did an arm drag. Look at this. But you do it in a different way than I've ever seen, having been a very inexperienced wrestler. You reach on the same side, and you're going to like pin my shoulder to your shoulder, and then you're going to bring your left arm up to it. Watch. And then you transition.
Yeah, basically, I swapped them out just to get your back.
You like cinched it in first, and then you came over and swapped it out and came around to my back. Like I watched that like 5 times yesterday, being like, what did he just like? What like that? And then here you got a little bit of retribution. Just for the record, everybody, prior to this round, we were sort of drilling like some stand up, getting to the back type of stuff, and we got to this position exactly with me on Jordan's back. This was just drilling, and I was like, Jordan, like, how would you finish from here? How would you take somebody down from this position? And you were like, I don't know, like, it's been so long, like, Jordan wrestled for 5 years, but like, he was like, I don't know. This is how he would do it, everybody. And just smash. And just spin me around and smash me to the ground. All right, let's watch it again. Because that's deserving of a real time. Look. Arm drag to the back and then just down. All right. I was thinking about getting a butterfly hook in here, but you actually did a great job of freeing your leg from the butterfly hook. Watch. Your right leg.
Yeah, I felt it. Yeah. No, you're going to get me in that again.
So side control, we resetted side control.
Yeah, it's amazing, just how much more aware, even just after that one session, and how you, what do you call it when you flipped me over? You passed me.
Yeah. Well, I'm about to.
Like, I know that
I'm about to do it to you right here.
Got to do it again. I know.
But I'm going to do it in a different way. But so this was restarting from side control, and you'll watch me get so I'm going to make the knee elbow connection on my right hand side. I'm going to shrimp out and make the knee elbow connection. This is what we were practicing earlier, like for you. So watch right here, and then boom. And so I was able to get one foot in, and then return you to half guard. But you're still in a super dominant position. Like, you're just super strong. But I will tell you that my initial plan from here was to do something called a John Wayne sweep, which is to bring you to my left. Because if I can control your top arm, which I'm doing right now, you can see my hand on your top arm, you have no base over there.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm able to rotate my hips to the left, then you'll go to the left, and there's nothing for you to post on to base there. But you have your weight so far to my right, your left, that I was like, okay, that's never going to work. I'm never going to be able to muscle him over there because you're just a lot stronger. So instead, I brought you to the right because you had your arm under my head, your left arm under my head. You couldn't post over there. So you'll see I just kind of rotate you over there. Try and fail. Try again.
I'm very confident that you weren't going to be able to get it. I felt so confident. You can see me. I didn't even feel phased. I was like, let him try.
Yeah. Well, I did try once, and you shut it down, but you were still just so far over that you'll see I removed my left leg from half guard, and I use it to post and to push off of. And at that point, I was able to raise my hip level above yours. And then from here on, I just gave you the business. Like, I was like,
yeah,
I'm just going to give him the business the best way I know how, which is for you, like knee on belly and strangles from the top or chokes from the top. So you did a good job there trying to get your leg in, right? Like, watch, you're trying to get your right knee in.
Yep, that was when the light bulb went off.
You're trying to get your right knee in. Unfortunately, I sort of know what to do in that position. I bring my right hand down. Right, look right there. I actually post my right hand on the ground.
Blocking.
So you can't continue to rotate. And then from here, there's a ton of space that I've created, whether I do it right now or in a little bit, to go to knee on belly. Oh yeah, you had control of my left hand. It's hard to see, but you had control of my left hand, and I have these little tiny wrists, and I could not get my left hand free, which is why it took me so long to get to knee on belly, actually. You're still controlling my left hand. I finally pop it out, I think, right here. And I'm like, okay, finally I can go to knee on belly. But yeah, I'm just doing my best to do as much top pressure and just make life miserable for you as possible. So you're even here, you're framing better. Honestly, like, it's not like ideal the way that you're framing necessarily, but like just creating space is better than nothing. Whereas I think last time around, like, you were literally just like trying to pull me to you, which is a little bit counterproductive. So I'm thinking about, what I thought you were going to do here was roll into me, turn into me, because you've done that in the past. You tried to turn into me. So I was getting ready to try to do some sort of like an arm bar or a Kimura when you brought your left arm up. But you never fully turned into me, so I had to make a decision on what else to do. So from here, I realized that I can probably go for the no-gi baseball bat choke. And I sent you a text about this yesterday, but it's so interesting to watch back these rolls because you can see yourself make mistakes and then correct the mistakes in real time, even through like the fatigue and the adrenaline and all that type of stuff. I used the wrong grip originally in the no-gi baseball bat choke, which would very much make it harder to finish it. So let's see. Yeah, you've got to be, my left hand has to be palm down, but I started palm up. And if you're palm up, I'm trying to rotate in a particular direction. It's hard to get my elbows together when I'm rotating that way. But if my palm is down and I'm rotating to my right, it's easier to connect my elbows, which allows, since your neck is in the middle, like, it makes it easy. It makes it easier. But so you can literally watch me here screw this up and then be like, wait a minute, hold on. You know how to do this. Take a minute, carefully reset my grips, and then go for the finish. Meanwhile, I'm just like smashing you with knee on belly, and you're just like,
meanwhile, like, George just giving you all the time in the world, just takes all the
okay, wrong way. Yeah, see, like, so I screwed it up right there. I screwed it. Watch, I go grab it, and then you'll see me switch the grips. Wrong. Whoop. Just kidding. Okay. And then I have to rotate. Yeah, I have to rotate to my right.
Deceiving for me.
Yeah.
It does not feel good, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, and it's not as like it wasn't like a choke like a normal choke.
There's a
It
crank
was
too.
just enough choke to get your
Yeah.
attention, but it was the crank of
Yeah.
the neck that I was like, whoa, oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I
okay.
mean, in the gi, a no gi baseball bat choke, I think is maybe much more of a choke. I mean, I'm no expert on a no gi baseball bat choke, like what I just did. Like I'm sure that there are people out there that are much better at it that could give me pointers to make it more of a choke and less of a crank. But at this point, I'm pretty satisfied with anything that makes your life miserable. So like, I'm cool with that, 100%. But yeah, so like that was me. All the top pressure I have, just giving you the business is, as much as I have. And what you'll see in the next video is Jordan with all the top pressure he has, giving me the business. And so yeah, okay, so let's roll the clip. Wait for it. Here we go. So this one, I think I pull guard, right?
Yes. Oh my god, jeez.
Well, I desperately wanted to work something called De La Hiva guard on you because I've gotten pretty good at it in terms of sweeping and getting people off. God, Jesus.
I tried
But
hard drag sweep a few times, and I'm like,
or
oh,
leg drag sweep,
jeez.
yeah, or leg drag
Leg drag.
pass. Yeah, you're trying to pass. A sweep is
Yeah.
when you switch positions with somebody. When I get you down, that the drag is when you're trying to get across, or you get on top of me. But like, ladies and gentlemen, take a look at like the intensity you're giving me in trying to pass. Like, look at the hand motion and the leg motion, and then when he goes for the actual leg drag, just like the smash. Okay, check it out. Like, this is not your normal rolling at your jiu-jitsu gym, at least not at mine. Okay, watch. Like, I cannot even grab one of his arms because like he's just
I was trying to do a little fake out. I was like, I'm gonna let him think I'm gonna go for the left leg, but I'm going for the right. And then look, I can't even hide it at this point. I knew that you knew I was gonna try it, but I was like, I feel like I can
if I
kind of
just do
muscle
it so
throw him
if I
over
just
there
do
a
it
little
so
bit.
fast, then like maybe I have a chance.
Yeah.
And you get it. Like, you get it here. That was it. You just freaking toss me. Like, look at this. See ya. I'm just kind of like, oh boy, this is a lot. Like, I wanted to work De La Hiva. I can't even get to any type of a guard because he's just like, and then I made a very critical mistake right there. I think it was a combination of you and me. Like, I think that you do grab my right foot and toss me to the side, but I just did not recover. Yeah, you did that. I mean, like, yeah, you just
Yeah.
and from here, like, this is just smash fest from here on. It's just a 200-pound, 5'6" dude just giving you shoulder pressure for days. Oh, I almost took your back. Look at this. Oh God, I was so close to taking your back. Oh man.
I think I switched my hips here. I'm like, I need to get out of this position. You had that leg in there
Well, yeah,
though.
I had both my hooks in. I was like,
Kinda,
so okay. So what you can't see, okay, is that Jordan had my right arm. Like, you had a hold of my wrist. So I could not
yeah.
continue onto like up your back because you had grabbed my right arm. And then
And I
you had
pinned it
pinned
to
it
the
to the
ground,
ground.
I
And then
think.
at some point
Yeah.
you had the genius idea, and I don't know how I let you do this, but of like reaching back and grabbing my head too. So like you had me like in a headlock and you had my arm. Like eventually. But there was a moment that I came pretty close to taking your back. Like I don't think you really realized what was happening. Um let me see here. I'm not sure if the video here is yeah. Yeah. I think right about here I really go for it. Yeah, I think this is just a long struggle of yeah. So at this point,
Yeah.
you have my
Definitely
head.
you're
At
fighting
this
my
point, you have
hand.
my head, and I'm just like, oh god, like how long do I have to live here? Like, yeah. See, you have my arm. I'm like, if I could just get my arm out, then I could take your back. But I just could not get my arm out. And then I'm like, I think at some point maybe do I go for a Kimura? Oh,
That's why
you
I
trapped
strapped
my
your arm
arm.
behind your
Oh
back.
God. I was
Yeah.
and then I don't know, I wasn't sure why you stopped here. And like I thought that you were just like I wasn't sure, but like you had me in the worst position. You had my arm under my back, 200 pounds laying on my chest. I was like, there's no way I'm getting this arm out. Like that was pretty sick. That's some people would call that a Sao Paulo pass, and I don't ever want you to learn it. So we start in side control without my arm being under. And then from here, you realized you didn't let me do the knee elbow connection. And I think you just like smashed me for a while here. Like this was no fun. So that's a position called keskatami, I believe. Oh yeah, I try to do an arm a triangle on your neck there, but you're just like way too strong. I'm like trying to frame, not really work. Oh yeah, I went for a near side guillotine. Oh, or a near side Kimura. I saw this on a YouTube video. Watch, I'm gonna try to hip you over. Totally did not work, and then you took my back, and I was like, that's the last time I try something from a YouTube video. Like, yeah. Now, fortunately, you have zero clue what to do here. You already let me get my back to the mat, which means that you have nothing from a choking perspective, but you're just like cranking on my neck, just like giving it a rip. When a 200-pound wrestler gets a hold of your neck and just like thinks he knows what to do, like that's not ideal. Yeah. Oh God.
Well, in my mind, I was thinking of I think it's the Kimura, where you kind of come under and you kind of start, kind of cranking up a little bit. That's what I saw that a few times. I saw it. So you see me gunning for it at one point because when I would get that top pressure, the arm would kind of slip out a little bit, and I thought I could get it. But again, the confidence of it was not even there. I didn't know where to go with it.
So at this point, I thought I had like done pretty well to like get back to something of a guard. I even got like a little knee shield, like a low knee shield in. But then you swam over and grabbed a top lock, like headlock, like a reverse headlock over my neck. And you can see the tip of my head poking out on the right hand side here. That's my head. I am so miserable. You can see the tip of my bald head poking out. And I'm like, because you've got your, like, I almost tapped. I was like, there is so much pressure here, like just from you lying on me. And then, oh God, look at this. Okay, then I finally got back to close guard just because you're clueless. And like, no, look, I mean, like you, like, look at that, like you're like, I'm gonna hop right into his close guard. Like that's literally what you did. Is like, I will take zero credit. Like I sort of kept like some frames so that it wasn't easy. I think you were trying to hop over me, maybe, and my knees were in the way, but you basically just hop back into close guard. And then from here, like I was just so worked. I was just so smashed. I was like, dude, make this round end. Like,
I think you even say something at this time, right? It's like a timer or something like that.
Just so everybody knows, like Jordan in your close guard is no fun. Like he's just leaning forward on you, smashing you, like giving you no room to work. Like, oh man,
that's my only strategy. I mean, that's and and I think we talked about this, like from a wrestler perspective. Like I'm getting there's like fear, right? You don't know what he's doing. It's like these little arms are doing
little
things,
arms.
and you know that there's potential going to
yeah,
choke
my little arms are doing things.
So I'm just like squeeze, and keep them tight so he can't grab nothing.
Yeah, no, that works. That's a thing. Yeah, I mean, it's we talked about like trying to do anything from close guard. You typically have to get out of it. Like if you're trying to actually submit me, it's going to be very hard from close guard. But when you try to get out, that's when usually the openings are for me to do something. But hey, so real quick, like this has been like I think a while, like almost 40 minutes.
Almost 40
so before
minutes,
we end, did we make it out completely healthy from yesterday? Like I've got a couple of good looking bruises. Like, how are you? You okay on your side?
Yeah.
How's your neck?
I got them all over. Neck is good. Yeah, it feels very good actually.
All right.
Feels good. I mean, yeah, much better than
I'm still trying to figure out when you actually took a bite out of my hand here. Like, it kind of looks like
we did do a nail check.
Look at that. So, like, this could be the top tooth. This could be the bottom tooth. I don't know. I think it might have been during the guillotine as I was cranking up. You were like, Like that must have been it.
My Mike Tyson moment.
You're like, I'm a wrestler, goddammit. All right. Well,
no, I think it feels good.
All right, good. Well, until next week then, Dad Fight Club episode 2 out. And rest up. Maybe try to get a jiu-jitsu class in.
Yep. Yes, absolutely.
All right. Peace out, dude.
All right.
Bye.
Later.